This is the final boarding call for all remaining passengers. Please now make your way to the gate. The podcast is about to begin.
Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Travel. And our special guest this week is Amanda Midler from Silversea Cruises. And I'm so excited to have Amanda on the show to tell us about one of my favourite travel products. Amanda is the key strategic account manager for Silversea Cruises. That is such a mouthful, but thank you so much for joining us. And Amanda is one of these people that is super busy. Like, I look at her social media and think, where do you get your energy?
I know, I do. It's just because I love my product so much. Just a lot of it doesn't feel like work. So, yes, I am busy because I also manage Scotland and the whole of Ireland. So, I like to support my agents. So,
and Ireland is such a great cruise, market. So I can see why you'd be kept busy in Ireland as well.
It's a good market. Northern Ireland's always been strong, but now Ireland is doing really well. In fact, I keep making them laugh and saying, "Are you finding money under your bed or something?"
I know.
But their bookings are good, so yes. Yeah.
So Silversea Cruises, we're going to come on to talk about that. But first, let's just have a wee chat about Amanda. And how many years have you been with Silversea?
It's coming up to 13 now.
So I've known you for 13 years.
You have, Linda.
You moved up to Scotland just as you started with Silversea. But tell us a little bit about Amanda, where you were before Silversea and how you came to work at Silversea.
So all my life, from being a little girl, I wanted to work for the airlines. So when I left school at 18, I went to work for the airlines. I started doing check-in and then I worked for Air 2000 for 6 years.
That's a blast from the past.
I know. I then went to work for Air Tours, which became my travel for 10 years. And then I had the absolute dream of a job. I worked for Monarch Airlines at Manchester and I was the airport manager for Monarch based at Manchester. I had a lovely team of staff and then I also looked after 7 smaller airports as well, and that was really a big dream. Loved the job, incredible, lovely airline, and then I went on holiday after about 10 years of working for Monarch and met my husband who was Scottish.
What a love story.
And that's how I've ended up here. So I left Monarch, and of course working for the airlines is always a challenge. You get delays, we had ash clouds, all sorts going on, and so now I do feel just at my time of life, and it's lovely now to work for Silversea's for such a luxury product, so I don't get those
drama
3 a.m. dramas and call outs and my team needing me where all over the world I used to go, a bit like Silversea really.
but not so much drama.
Yeah, so and I moved up to Scotland and I've been very happy here, made very welcome. So moved up with one of my sons and the other son stayed in Manchester. So
I can't believe it's been 13 years though. It just seems like literally a blink of the eye since I met you. And I'm trying to remember what it was called. Not One Up, it was called
29
Club 29. You
29.
were doing a presentation, and I'm like, new person for Silversea, and it was so nice to meet you. And we've done so much together, as a partnership over the last 13 years.
We have. I think we have a good relationship together. We know each other well. You know how well I'll support you, and we do. We get on really well, and we've got some really nice clients now that regularly repeat with you. So that's great.
And that's one of the things. Silversea has a very, very high repeat clientele, which is lovely. Once you get a client on Silversea, you've got them for life, really.
That's what happens. They become part of the family. They join what's called the Venetian Society, and it amazes me always when you get on board how the crew remember the guest.
Oh, it's insane, isn't it?
I know. I could tell you so many funny stories, but have I got time for a quick one?
Yeah, go for it.
So no, when I moved up here and I told you about my husband, he said to me, "Amanda, I'll do everything to support you, but I'll never cruise." So anyway, and I go, "Oh, Brian, you must try, you must come on board." Anyway, I took him on after probably about 3 years, and there was a few of my friends on board. Anyway, and I'm saying to him, it's hard work. I work really hard and hardly ever drink alcohol when I'm not with you, never party. Anyway, we got on first day, we had some lunch, we went up to the pool deck, we sat there, and the waiter came over, Miss Amanda, I saw it was you. He said, "I've put 2 bottles of your favourite wine in the grill on Hot Rocks by the pool on ice for you tonight because I can see you've booked there. Anyway, I introduced him to Brian. He loved Brian because of his Scottish accent. And then he said to me after he'd gone, can I just ask you 2 questions? He said, how does he remember what your favourite wine is considering you never drink? He said, and why did we need 2 bottles? So anyway, obviously the crew remembered me well, and my favourite wine still follows me around the ship now.
Oh, brilliant.
But that was a funny story. We still repeat that.
And Brian has been on many times since then, so you've got him converted.
He's got a bucket list. He's had me everywhere. We went to the Arctic last year, and he's got 3 cruises booked. So yes, and in fact, he even does a nice sales job for me. So when he goes to work, I often see him trundling down the path with his
brochures
back and brochures.
I know, but that proves the point. Though he said he would never cruise, and then you get him on the ship, and just
he had the myth, thinking about the large ships, thinking about lots of children on board, thinking going to be splashed every time I sat by the pool, and it's totally different.
Yeah, so let's just talk about the Silversea concept. So I remember, because I am so old in travel, when Silversea was first launched, 1994 or something.
1994, yeah.
And it was brand new. They pioneered the ultra luxury cruise market. And I'm going to be honest, we were like, is there really a market for that? At that time it was the bigger the ship, the better. All the cruise lines were coming up with, massive ships, and Silversea came up with this idea. It was going to be like 400 to 600 passengers, ultra luxury. And as an industry, we're like, how right they were.
It's gone very, very well. And you know what? There is definitely an appetite for the big ships. When you've got children and you want to entertain the children so the mum and dad can enjoy the holiday, those big ships are incredible. The entertainment that they have on board and the activities for children. But then when the children leave home, it's lovely to get on a ship and not be overrun by somebody else's children. So
Silversea aren't adult only, but very adult focused. Is that
very adult focused? And we do take children, and we often get multi-generation where grandma brings mum and dad who bring children, but they just have to realise that there isn't that much focus on children. So it's normally the well-behaved children that we get. I must say, since I've taken my boys, they're a little bit older now, but they've probably been going on since they were about 16, 17, and they loved it, but they liked the nice food. They loved the wildlife that they could get to see, and they loved doing the expedition cruises. They love the excursions, but they must know there's no
kids clubs,
no water flumes, that type of thing. But they have, and they've really love it now. So
ultra luxury. But I've said this a few times. What does luxury actually mean? And even Silversea's changed its philosophy a little bit. They've never lost the luxury part, but it's a bit more relaxed now than it ever used to be.
It is, and I think it's as time changes, everybody has a different meaning for luxury. So what would be somebody's luxury isn't another person's luxury. But with Silversea, the real concept that we've kept with small ships, we're a very, very itinerary driven. So over 900 different ports every year. So it's these tiny ports that we can go to. And when you get off the ship and there's like 400, even some of them with 100 people getting off, it's a very different experience than getting off the ship with 5,000 people. And the biggest thing I always see is the room on board, the space on board. So on the Muse class ships and the 2 Nova class ships, we've got up to 10 different dining venues. So you've got so much choice. It's not getting into a main dining room as such. You're going into lots of small, almost speciality restaurants.
And these ships take about 700 passengers?
The 2 new ones, just over 700. Then there's 4 that would do just 600. And then there's 2 that would do 388.
Yeah, but these ships, if that was another cruise line, because other cruise lines are available, there would be double the amount of passengers on board. And that's, about having the space on board. So you never have to, rush up to get a sunbed after breakfast or, there's everything. They've thought about everything. It's just the last word in luxury.
Yeah, that is lovely. I mean, I know so many times, even when you're in a hotel, sometimes nudging your husband at 8 o'clock in the morning and say, quick, go and put the towel out. You don't need to do that. No. There's so much space.
And they even come round the pool and clean your sunglasses for you.
That's right, and bring cocktails and ice creams. And
I know, it's just...
There's even your sun cream and your face cream and everything by the pool as well.
Brilliant. But I think the fact that the ships are smaller and they get into port, I know you said over 900 destinations, but they get right in close and personal with the destination. So you're not arriving into a certain destination and then having a tour coach transfer to actually get to the destination. You know, so it's very destination immersive.
It is, yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
And obviously, we've said a couple of times, 900 destinations.
Excuse me.
But expedition cruising, which is becoming really, really popular. It's on everybody's bucket list. I know it's on mine. I am absolutely desperate to go to Antarctica, and I will go. But my issue is I want to go on a Silversea ship. I don't want to do it.
Very good. We like that. Yeah, no, that's good.
I want to do the luxury, but I want to do the adventure as well. So tell us a little bit about the
expeditions growing massively. And I think ever since COVID, really, people want to tick off those bucket lists. So Galapagos is always very popular. We've got a brand new ship that was purpose built for the Galapagos. Silver Origin, yeah, beautiful. Only 100 guests on board. It's there all year round. There's no good time or bad time to go to the Galapagos. It's really what you're going to see.
And just to touch on that Galapagos, the 100 passenger mark is really important because in the Galapagos, only 100 people are ever allowed on the Galapagos at any one time.
In one day,
Yes. So if they're in a bigger ship with, say, 200 passengers, then only half can get off at any one time.
That's right.
But Silversea's got that ship was built specifically for that.
It was,
destination.
So everybody can get off and enjoy every activity. So that's Silver Origin. And then we've got a new ship, Silver Endeavour, which is absolutely beautiful. Dare I say it, she could almost be my favourite ship because it felt like I was on a private yacht. We did the Arctic on her last year.
She did the polar plunge?
I did the polar plunge, I know, not like me at all.
Photographic evidence to prove it.
I did it. My husband switched it onto Facebook Live, so I couldn't chicken out of it, and everybody was watching. I know. And I really did feel like I should chicken out of it. But the only thing is there was people around me that were like 70 and 80, and there was young people as well. Everybody was doing it, and I thought, there's no way I could not do this. So anyway, I jumped in, and do you know what? When you get out, the water is freezing. You're only in for 5, maybe 10 seconds, it seems, very quick. But then when you get out, you feel so good. Yeah. You really do. So
I've been told, I've not done it.
Yeah, but, definitely do it when you get the chance. And you worry about it, but there's nothing to worry about. The safety's all there for you. You've got a rope tied around you as well. But then we were on the ship, and one morning, 5 o'clock, the captain stopped the ship, announcement, to get off the ship. We've got a family of polar bears. So we all got off, very nicely done, just 10 of you at a time, into your Zodiacs, which are the rubber boats that are very safe. They take you nearer to the land. And we just watched these this mother polar bear feeding her babies with a seal. Oh, it was just game changing. It really was. And that happened twice, actually. So we saw another family one afternoon as well, that they were sat sort of in the sun on the rocks. And that was just something so special. You're not in a zoo. You're actually there in the wildlife.
Where they're meant to be.
Yeah, where you were meant to be, or where they were meant to be. And then just the whales we saw as well. I mean, I just loved the whales. We'd be in the Zodiacs and they'd be swimming along the side of me. You should see my new video now that a passenger sent me that they'd taken from the Zodiac with all these whales at the side, and the expedition leader turned the Zodiac off so it was just silent and still, and the next minute you hear this noise and it's the whales talking to each other, and then they're squirting water and they're arching, and you know what,
isn't it as if the whales know you're watching them?
Is absolutely.
It's like your own personal show. I found that in Alaska. I couldn't believe how, it was like they were performing for you in their own natural, like they were proud of their environment, and and they obviously feel really safe. They're not in any way, upset that there's tourists, because it's all done very well.
It's just done very nicely. Yeah, very, very nicely. And we just turn the Zodiacs off and you just literally sit floating in the water. And then one night we were up in the observation lounge at the front of the ship. We'd had dinner, and of course in the Arctic the sun never sets, so it's always light and sunny. So we're sat having a drink, and then there's all this confusion going on, and there was hundreds of whales swimming at the side of the ship on either side. Expedition team were out there, and literally they're pointing out, they're going, well, this whale swam from here, it's 6 years old, that calf is this,
because they know, because of technology, they can actually tell you, get all the history of them.
But it was like, again, the whales were playing with the ship. So it was incredible. And then, of course, you know, the walruses you see, the reindeer, you see the birds, you see the wildlife. So I totally loved it. So we did 6 days in Svalbard. We started off in Norway and then did a little bit of Iceland and the fjords up there. So finished in Reykjavik. So my next one, it's on my bucket list, but I'm not yet telling my husband we can do it, but it's Reykjavik right up to Churchill, because that really is the home of the bears. So so that's the Arctic. And who would believe the Arctic is 2 hours flying time away?
I know, from
and
Scotland.
You're so close and you're there. And really something different. And you're not looking for people who want to do regular cruising. You're looking for people who want adventure holidays. And it really is an adventure.
Adventure with the luxury tag on it, yeah.
Because you're getting back on the ship, you put your boots into the mud room. They've got you put your boots on this like rack, and they warm the boots so that in the morning when you're getting ready again to go out, your boots are toasty. Your parka jacket is completely warm and toasty, and they're just the way they do it. But then, of course, you've got your restaurant choice, you've got your butler service still. And
so do you still feel like you're on a Silversea ship?
Absolutely. You know you're on a Silversea ship. Yeah, you do.
Yeah. You're selling it to me. I so want to do it.
And then, of course, there's the Arctic, which is very popular. So we've got over 2 ships in the Arctic. Antarctica. And also the big news is we're building our own hotel in Chile. So that's going to be in Porto William. Opens. So
I take it that's because there's nothing of Silversea standard in the
exactly
area.
Right,
yeah,
exactly right. So we've made the hotel. It's was made 3,000 miles away. We've carried it in containers over the water, and then they're building it. The views are incredible. So that's just about to open, and the pictures that we're seeing and the reports we're getting back, so that's very exciting. So 150 room hotel.
Perfect. I mean, and expedition cruising in the last 3 to 4 years has, you know, it was something we used to do the odd time for customers, and now we've actually got an expedition specialist in the business. Mm-hmm. It's becoming massive, and customers will come in and say, we want to go and see polar bears and penguins. Well, they're in different places.
They are. Yeah.
So polar bears are in the Arctic and penguins are in the Antarctic.
That's
is that
right.
it? Yeah.
That's right. And I would always say start at the Arctic and then go down to Antarctica, because nothing quite prepares you for Antarctica, because it's incredible.
Yeah. And then there's that really horrific Drake's Passage, which I absolutely want to do. Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be the roughest, hardest crossing in the world.
It can be. Or it could be a lake as well. So quite often it is a lake as well. But we've got a solution for that, Linda.
You can fly over it.
You can fly
I know
over
if you're too posh to be in a rough sea.
Well, it's not that. A lot of people, Linda, want to do a big tour of South America maybe, so they don't want to be cruising the Drake's Passage. So to miss that both ways is a good thing if your time's short. So you can fly straight over. We charter an aeroplane from Porto William.
Thought of it all.
Yeah, so it's brilliant. So I know I quite fancy doing the flight as well myself.
I think you should do a Scottish trip, and I'll book to come on it.
I will.
But obviously sunshine is still a massive part of the business, and we've talked about the fact it gets into really small ports, stays for longer days in the destinations, which is nice. People can really enjoy the destination. Anything new coming for Silversea? I always talked about Antarctica Hotel, but anything new for the sunshine destinations?
Well, there is some new itineraries. So the new itineraries are out. So we're going to be on Silver the next 27 and 2028.
Amazing.
And we have got a lot of new destinations we've never been to before. But, you know, you're absolutely right. We've got 6 ships based in the Mediterranean. Some of those ports we go to, some of those Greek islands that we go to.
Some of them I've never even heard of. I know.
That's right. And then Croatia, we do a beautiful cruise, Venice back to Venice. And some of those Croatian ports you've never heard of, let alone be able to pronounce. So I always say, if you're a first-time cruiser and you're thinking about cruising, look at that Venice to Venice, because you literally put to the next port. They're all so very close, but the breathtaking scenery as well, and some of the places you get to see is quite different. So, especially if it's a lady who's never travelled before. If it's the first time for a man, I always say, what about the Monte Carlo Grand Prix? Because again, we get right into Monte Carlo. You can see the cars racing round, and we've had some great guest lecturers on board who, from Formula One, talking while we're there as well, which it's an outstanding trip. So
and you can do lots of pre and lots of post itineraries as well to make it a longer, really whatever you want to do. That's the great thing.
Yeah.
And it's an ultra all-inclusive. So that means literally everything is included, exception of spa treatments, and there's some and shopping, and there's some short excursions included as well, depending on how you book it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's different ways you can book. So one with where you get a shore excursion credit, and then if you wanted to do something like the helicopter ride over the glacier, or go on a boat trip for the afternoon or whatever, you can choose. I know when we went to Mumbai, for instance, we wanted to have the private car. So 4 of us had a private car. We made our own tour. So you can use your shore excursion credit then. So you can choose, because not every port you need to do an excursion. Say you're in the Caribbean, you've got the lovely beaches.
Why would you want to leave that?
Or the shops are nice to see, or people don't always want to get onto a trip, so to speak.
The Caribbean is famous for its beaches, so why would you not want to just go to the beach? Beach, spice islands, or spice markets and diamond shops, that's what the Caribbean's got.
Famous for,
but most importantly, it's got sunshine.
Yes,
so
that's it.
Pretty much
nice.
year round, which is good. So where's next for Amanda? What's your next holiday?
Oh, it's very soon. I'm going to... well, this is my mum's request, actually. So we're doing a girls' trip, and we're going to the Mediterranean, starting in Lisbon, and we're going transatlantic on the brand new ship Silversea. So
I just have to get in there that I'm going in Silversea in 2 weeks' time.
You are. Very nice.
For a second time, it's amazing.
The ship is a game changer in cruising. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. But I've got a girls' trip. There's 9 of us going. We've got Madeira. We're going to Bermuda for 2 days, and then we get off in Fort Lauderdale, but then we're going to drive down to the Keys for a few days, and then maybe back to Miami for shopping. So it'd be lovely. But we're excited about the Ray, and then some of my friends haven't seen the Ray yet, so they're going to be blown away. So
I've been very fortunate. I've been on a few Silversea ships over the years, but Silversea last year was my first experience of the new ship, and I didn't think it was possible to take it up a notch, but it absolutely did. The ship was just beautiful, so much so that I've wanted to book to go back on, and I can't wait to see the ship. The food was just absolutely magic.
And what about the pool deck? I mean, I love that pool deck. The pool is built to the side, so when you're actually sunbathing,
you don't even think you're on a cruise ship.
Yeah, you're not facing other guests. That's the idea. You're facing the land or the sea, so you've got these amazing views. Because
I don't know why IMD has not thought of that before.
I know, but it's just...
Because why would you want to be facing into the pool when you can be facing out to the ocean?
Yeah, so that's the way it's done. So right to the pool's at the side of the ship, full waiter service around the pool. And then have you done the pool parties they do up there as well?
Yeah.
Where they bring the band out and the dancers. And
it was pretty raucous, I have to say, which I wasn't expecting, because that hadn't had that experience in Silversea before. So we had such a great great
they
trip.
do it up to 3 times. 3 evenings up there, so it's good. And the market's coming. The age group has changed so much.
I was going to talk about that.
You talked about 1994. Our average age group would have been well over 70. We've had some cruises going to the Mediterranean with an average age group of 46. So it's totally changed cruising now. People are wanting to go from a lot younger age. I mean, I even do lots for honeymoons, because people love the fact that once you get on board, they can buzz the butler, they can have the bottles of champagne, they can have breakfast in the suite. It's all included.
I know. I think I'm going to tell my original Silversea story, and you weren't in Silversea at the time. It was 1994, and this product had just come out, and they came up with this idea that it was new to market. So they were going, I don't know if you even know this story, Amanda, they were going to do a little 2-night kind of shakedown cruise for customers, not for travel agents, and they had to pay £500 each. And if they booked a voyage, they would get their £500 back, which is this marketing idea. But back in 1994, everything was included, including cigarettes.
Oh, right, okay.
So you got all your cigarettes included. But what they hadn't anticipated was the Scottish market.
With the drink.
So, shall we just say that the Scottish market really enjoyed the Silversea 2-night cruise? I'm not very sure how many people actually booked a voyage from that, because they came off with their cigarettes and their bottles of whiskey, and it was quite funny. But it literally is an ultra all-inclusive product. So when you look at the pricing, you think, it's expensive. not for what it is. It's not. It's really good value for money.
When you actually break down what you get, and you look at it and then you compare it maybe against like a premium mainstream where you've got to add your drinks package, you know, your shore excursions, your Wi-Fi maybe, and it makes it such good value. I mean, a good one is you go to a nice 5-star hotel in the Caribbean and book there and then start paying for your dinners every night, all your drinks. And that's when you see the value with Silversea as well. So, it's...
And the food was amazing. One of my favourite experiences in any of the Silversea ships, but very especially in Silver Ray, is the Hot Rocks experience. So tell us about Hot Rocks.
So Hot Rocks is on the Silver Ray and Nova, it's called the Marquee. So outside dining at its very, very best, I always think. But they bring a hot stone and you choose your cut of meat or fish, and then you cook it yourself if you want to. And the waiter
they give you an apron to put on.
They put an apron on you, and then the waiter brings you chips and your sauces and, you know, your vegetable kebabs or whatever you want. But it's lovely and it's very casual, because some people will say, oh, Silversea, is it very formal? Is it very stuffy?
There's no formal nights now.
No. There's a formal optional. So you can do a formal optional if you want.
We're going to do our own formal night, just so you get nice pictures. But it's lovely. People still turn up for dinner dressed well, but
Nicely,
there's
yes,
not,
they do,
you know, tuxedos isn't required for guys, long dresses aren't required for girls. But the food was just...
Good. No, Hot Rocks is my favourite as well. So always, the first night I get on the ship, I'm straight. That's where I always book. And then, of course, we've introduced salt as well. So have you tried salt?
Yes, tell us what salt stands for.
Salt is sea and land taste. So it's all about the taste of the destination. So, you know, when you go to a lovely resort with your husband, you walk out the hotel, we like those local restaurants, the local flavours. So this is exactly what salt's doing. So it's all about the taste of the area. So you go into the salt bar and it would be a typical menu with drinks for the flavour of the area you're in. So when I was in Shetland Islands a couple of weeks ago, everything was whiskey flavoured. I absolutely can walk in there and order a porn star or a margarita or a glass of champagne. But what they've got on the menu is these the local flavours. And then you go in the salt restaurant, which is just mind-blowing. You open the menu and the first page is what's typical of the port you're in that day. So let's say you were in Corfu, for example. You'd open the menu and it'd be typical of what you'd find in a taverna in Corfu. You'd then turn the page and the next would be a menu for the whole voyage. So let's say Venice to Athens, you'd get Croatian, Greek and Italian food. And it's lovely, but even your bread is flavoured and your butter's seasoned for you. But I just think it's a brilliant experience. Then if you've liked what you've eaten, you can go and cook with the chefs and that's all included.
That's so popular,
That's really popular.
Yeah.
People love the cookery classes. And then, of course, you can do salt excursions. So you can go to the vineyards. You can go to where they make the cheese. You can even eat with local families. So my sister's just recently, I've been telling this story, she's just done Antarctica and then finished off it in South America. So she went to eat with a family, which was part of SALT. So she had this fabulous meal, like a family meal. And then they said, would you like to come dancing with us? So she went into the local square with all the locals. They sort of had this gramophone and they all did salsa lessons, but hundreds of locals. She said, Amanda, it was amazing to
And
do.
money can't buy experiences like that.
No.
You know, that's the great thing. So literally the world is your oyster.
It is.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast. And like always, we've chatted away and we've still got so much to say. So there will definitely have to be a part 2.
Good,
and
anytime.
The thing with Silversea is it's always evolving. So there's lots of new things to talk about. But for now, thank you so much for joining us in your really busy schedule.
No problem. It's lovely, Linda. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you for joining us yet again on this podcast. Let's talk about travel, and we'll see you again next week.